This summer, Instacart presents famous summer flavors coming to your front door. Or pool. Or hotel.
Your grocery delivery has arrived, sir.
That was faster than room service.
No violins in the lobby.
Oh, seriously? Anyway, sit back, relax, and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Starring your favorite snacks, drinks, and more. Download Instacart for free delivery on your first 3 orders. Rated H for hungry audiences. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum $10 per order. Excludes restaurants. Additional terms and fees apply.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to This Song Is Yours, a music podcast where we chat to a new guest each week, talk about their life and creative endeavours, and talk to them about some of the music they love. Our show works by chatting to our guests about music, but also getting them to make you a playlist of the songs they love. You can find a link to our playlist in the show notes. Welcome to episode 76. I'm your host, Simon Fink. Our guest today is Romanie. The Belgian-born singer-songwriter recently released her gorgeous EP, Little Big Steps. In today's episode, we're talking with Romanie about the continuous growth of an artist, what she learnt from busking, and what inspires her songwriting. Here we go. Our guest today is a Belgian-born, Melbourne-based singer-songwriter. Inspired by acts such as Daughter and Phoebe Bridgers, she recently released her gorgeous EP, Little Big Steps. Please welcome to This Song Is Yours, Romanie. Hello, good afternoon. How are we?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be on the show.
Thank you. We were just discussing before that you're currently in Melbourne at the moment.
Yes, that's correct. I think third week of 6th lockdown, if I am correct. Yeah, that should be right.
How are you finding lockdown? Because I know for some people and creatives as well, it can kind of be like the silver lining is that you can use it to, write and create, but some people are not having a bar of that as well. How are you finding it?
Yeah, it fluctuates. Like it's really up and down. At the moment, I am struggling a little bit. I am on a 2-year visa in this country, and we've spent more than 7 months of it in lockdown, like in between 4 walls. So I'm getting a little bit crazy. My visa is also set to run out at this stage, but trying to stay hopeful and trying to at least pick up a guitar once a day, or try and free write at least 1 page in a notebook. So trying, but not trying to put pressure on myself. Because I find that that's really counteractive. If I try and push myself, then it's not going to happen. I know that already.
I feel like sometimes if you try and force it too much, it does kind of almost you get stuck on an idea that doesn't work, and you just focus on that instead of letting it kind of happen organically and naturally.
Yeah. I can. I'm very. I relate to that a lot.
As you just mentioned, you are on a visa here. You are originally from Belgium.
Yeah. And
have been in Melbourne since, I think, mid to late 2019?
Yeah, that's correct. October 2019, yeah.
We haven't really been that hospitable to you, have we? It's like the worst time to come and visit.
The bushfires, and then, feels like I'm in the Truman Show sometimes, but it's not about me. So we are. Yeah, it's definitely this period of time makes you think oh, poor me. But then you have to put it in perspective. We're all in the same situation. So it's. I try and reach out to people as much as I can. It's not because we're in this lockdown that you cannot meet people, so I'm trying to reach out to other creatives and try and set up Zoom calls and still try and make the most of it. I guess.
Yeah, of course it has to. You have to find something to not just do in sense of keeping yourself busy, but it's the project. Your artistry yourself is a thing that has been continuing and going throughout this time, even before, as you said, the bushfires and the pandemic and everything else. The new EP is currently out at the moment, Little Big Steps. It is gorgeous. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm happy that it's out there. It's been a long time coming indeed, and I've been sitting on it for a bit, like doubting if I should release it during lockdown. But yeah, I guess it's about those insecurities and about those uncertainties. And I was like, might as well put it out there. Maybe people can relate to it, and I hope people can feel it. Yeah, feel that they're not alone in this situation.
I feel like they, as I just said, the songs are gorgeous. They're very, what's the word? It's almost like a lived-in kind of feeling to them. Like they feel like they connect quite easily, which I think is a very, it's a difficult thing to do. Like it's not easy to make a song feel like an old jumper that you love wearing or something like that.
That's a good.
And I mean that meant as a compliment.
Yeah, I could feel it. The warmth of the warm old jumper.
Exactly, yeah. When you are sitting down to write some of these songs, where do you get your inspiration from?
I get it. It sounds silly, but I get it from myself, and I always want to write about things that I've experienced or that I've seen. Like I recently wrote a song about a movie that I've seen, and I still the song was about dementia, and it was not like I'm not suffering from dementia, but I had seen that movie and I've experienced it within my family. And I feel like if you want to write a song that is relatable for others, it needs to be most of all relatable to yourself. And I think I always want to stay true to that and not write about things that I don't know a clue about.
I feel like that's a very smart idea. Sometimes if you're not totally clued in on what you're writing about, it can go well, but sometimes it doesn't go well either.
Yeah, I don't want to be a fraud, or I don't want to feel like a fraud in songwriting. So yeah, I guess that's I feel like I write simple songs because also English is not my first language, and I've been speaking a lot of Dutch with my partner because we're just by ourselves. So I feel like my English is getting a little bit backwards at some stages. But yeah, that also makes me want to look for those phrases that sometimes I Google for nice sounding English words and then see if I can relate to it in some way, I guess. Yeah.
Of course, I can definitely understand that. Just kind of touching on what you were saying, I know that songwriting is an ever evolving kind of practice. It's not something that you pick up and then that's it, and you never have to work on it again. I believe, and I could be wrong, so please correct me if I am, I believe that back in Belgium you maybe told a fib or lied to get into a songwriting class.
Yeah. How did you pick that up? Yeah, I had no clue what I was doing. I have never been taught songwriting, or back then, before I signed up for a course where I actually wasn't allowed into. But yeah, I really wanted to start and learn about the craft. And I was just, I had written one song and it was good, but also I didn't know how I could continue with it. And I really liked expressing myself via songs. And I went into the music school and there was this cool songwriting course and I really wanted to get into it. And the teacher was like, sorry, you need to be advanced at one instrument, like piano or guitar. And I used to play the saxophone and I was like, but I can read some sheet music. And he's like, nah, it doesn't count. And then I went to another guitar teacher and I was like, look, I have written some songs and I just want to get better. Can you just put on this paper that I've been in this course? And he's like, yeah, okay. He didn't know what he signed himself up for. But it was a fun year and I learned so much during that year. And I feel in the end that I did belong in that course because I was writing songs and the teacher was also really happy about what I was doing in that course. So in the end, sometimes a little white lie cannot hurt.
I feel like you showed them that, the little white lie proved its worth. You made sure that, like, you showed your importance of being in that class.
Yeah. Oh, well, I didn't know that little lie would catch up on me in the end.
I'm curious what your thoughts are on, because it is, like, as we just said, it's a skill or skills in itself, guitar, playing instruments that you continue to learn, and some artists kind of, they do what they know and then that's it, and they don't.
This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back to school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back to school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee with your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 an order. Additional terms apply.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Grow from that, I guess. How important do you think it is for musicians and creatives in general to be able to continue to go back and learn and even like take classes, whatever it may be, to improve and grow their creative muscles?
It's so important. I personally really struggle with me being behind on others, and I've been having this conversation with my band members, and my keys player actually said something really important, because she was like, the songs that you make are so pure because you have no clue what you're doing sometimes, and like you would write a chord progression that is beautiful, but it's like, it is controversial because it's, I don't know what I'm doing, and it's not by the rules of a book. But then I do feel like I need those lessons. Like, I'm going to sign up after lockdown to get back into guitar lessons, because I feel like there's so much that I can learn still. And I feel like for everyone that can count, like even if you're the most skilled guitarist, well, maybe you can get into piano, because if you like learn another instrument, you'll get new perspectives, and that might bring new songs. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to do something new at least once a month, and then we'll see what comes from it.
That's very cool. I think that's an awesome like little project to do something new every month, and then build it from there.
Yeah.
Obviously, as we mentioned, it's a bit difficult to get a proper gauge on it with being in lockdown and everything else, but I'm curious on your thoughts of how the Melbourne music scene differs from the Belgian music scene, or if there's any comparisons between them.
It's very different, and I have been very blessed that I, even in lockdown, have been here, because I feel like it's like nowhere else. I've lived in, I've obviously lived in Belgium, but I've also lived in Barcelona when I was studying Spanish. And I feel like Melbourne is so unique in the sense that everyone's just somewhat involved with music, and it's such a tight community. In the beginning, I was really overwhelmed, because I was like, shit, everyone's a musician. Everyone's so much better than I am. I will never be a musician. But then I started to get to know musicians, and everyone has those insecurities. And we started to jam, and the one musician knows the other. And it's such a small community in the end. Everyone knows everyone. And it's amazing. Like, I'm so blessed. I learn from everyone every day. And yeah, it's been really nice, and I'm very happy that we chose Melbourne as a city to move to. Yeah.
Melbourne, I would say, probably is like the arts/musical hub of Australia. So it could have been very different. You're very, very lucky that Melbourne was the place you guys landed.
I lived in Brisbane when I was 18 to study English, and I had only one suitcase, and I also chose to bring my guitar, and I'm happy that I did. But I think if I would have chosen Melbourne when I was 18, maybe I would have studied music in uni. But yeah, I didn't. But I'm still happy about my choices.
Of course. No, I stand by those choices. I think that you've made some good choices. When you came to Melbourne, were you, I might have this wrong, were you busking to begin with and then working up to gigs?
Yeah. Well, I came into the city and arrived here with probably a spreadsheet of venues that I wanted to play at. But also because of that overwhelming feeling of a new city, I was back home in Belgium. I was playing almost every week in the lead up to us leaving the country. And I was like, oh, this is actually quite all right. Like I could maybe make a living out of this. And then coming here, it was like starting from fresh. No one knew about me. And I think I asked like 2 venues and they're like, oh, we're like fully booked. And I was like, shit. But then, yeah, busking was an obvious choice because everyone like starts on the street here. I had the feeling. And it was quite nice. Like everyone, the busking community is very inclusive. And yeah, it was nice. I busk from time to time still. And you just gauge what people like. And you can practice some new songs. And if people interact with it, you know that that's the song that you want to record. So I find that a magical feeling. Yeah.
I imagine it is a really good way to kind of road test music because there's no, compared to a show that you might play at a venue, there is no preconceived notions. There's no expectations. It's literally you and the music.
Mm-hmm. It's scary. It's you cannot force people to stop and listen. And the very first time I busked, I had a really shitty amp and no one could hear me. And then another busker came up to me and he's like, "It's not you, girl. Your amp is just, it's not loud enough." And I was like, "Oh, that's why." And then the next time I had a better battery, and yeah, then people stopped, and I was like, "Okay, shouldn't beat myself up for this." But yeah, I recommend going with a friend if you want to busk, because you cannot beat yourself up if no one listens, because sometimes people are just in their own mindset and yeah, need to hurry to the station, so they cannot listen. But it's not that they don't like your music then. Yeah, that's the overthinking inner critic probably coming out.
Very, very normal for a musician. Yep, 100%. Do you think that there's anything that you took away from busking and were able to put into your live shows? Like maybe it was a better way to drown out people talking or whatever it may be?
I have quite a big stage fright, and busking definitely helps with that. Just trying not to be nervous, and like even if because I had always been playing solo, so if you miss a note, everyone knows it's you because, well, you're the only one up there. So I've been really like during busking, sometimes if it's not on pitch, well, it's not on pitch. So I've really tried and take that self-reflection with me on stage on a show. And now I have a band, so if there's a wrong note, I can just blame my guitarist or something. It's just all part of the show, I guess. And just that practice. I think everyone just needs to grow into their craft, and I'm still learning. So yeah, I'm just happy to play. I really love playing live and interacting with people. So I really miss that right now.
Of course. What I was about to ask, I believe last week the EP launch was postponed. Correct. Until we're able to celebrate. But Are you looking forward to being able to play these songs to people and
oh my
launch
God,
the EP?
yes. We've practiced obviously with the band, and I've been showing them some new songs, and it's just, it clicked really well, and they really understand where I want to grow into. I've sort of gave them some references, which I can see on some records behind you there. And everyone was like, yeah, I can really hear that. And it's been really fun, the couple of shows that we've played already. So I'm just longing to get back on the stage and play the EP and the new songs for people with the band. Yeah.
Have you been practicing, obviously in a safe and legal capacity with lockdown, but have you been able to practice these new songs and like take the solo act into the band atmosphere and work that out?
Yeah, we were super lucky because during the 5th and the 6th lockdown, I think. No, might be between the 4th and the 5th. But I had postponed my Fake Friends single launch from May to June. And we were super lucky to be playing those shows. And it was at Abbotsford Convent, and it were 2 sold out shows. And it was just very wholesome because it was just our second show, but then people showed up and we had lots of fun playing the new songs. And I've been really lucky to find musicians that really know their instrument really well, and they immediately understood their parts. It's been amazing. I never thought that I, as a singer-songwriter, could sound better with a band, and they understood. I'm super happy that I have a band now, and I think I want to play with a band always, just because it reaches that bigger feeling, I guess.
I think that there's I know before we were talking about the records that are behind me and influences like Phoebe Bridgers and things like that. I think that there is something really special about singer-songwriters, more so than other genres, and I don't mean any disrespect to them, but there is something about how you can have a song that you're able to play on guitar and do solo, and it conveys one emotion, and it can still be heartbreaking, but then you can add a band to it and still have that same element, but it just kind of adds to it. Whereas, maybe dance, EDM genres don't have that same ability to do that, or it's very different.
Yeah,
but
it's very flexible. Yeah, that's true. You can play in a small venue, or you can play a big stadium with a band, and it'll still be that song. It's really special to hear my music with other instruments, and I'm so proud of this record because it is a new sound from what I've previously done, and I'm happy with how it's turning out, and I'm looking forward to the next thing.
Of course, that was what I was going to ask. We've got the EP now. Obviously, there has been a bit of time where you've been able to work and write in lockdown. Can we expect another EP or maybe even an album sometime in the future?
Yeah. I jokingly said to my producer while recording the first one, I was like, when are we doing the next one? But I think I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I've got all these new songs, and I think I want to record some more, and it might even be with just my band members because, we've been writing all the arrangements during rehearsal, so I'm very excited for lockdown to lift so we can just hang out and see where we get. I don't want to put pressure on it because it's been a hard time for everyone, but we'll see.
That's very exciting. We'll definitely keep our eyes peeled for that.
Thank you.
Lastly, we usually would ask our guests what they're currently listening to, if there's any albums or just songs that are on repeat at the moment for yourself.
I've been spinning the Maple Glider record a lot. To enjoy is the only thing, I think. It's just those songs feel so relatable, and they're so vulnerable, so pure, and it's everything that I aspire to be. That's my main record that I'm spinning. And of course, I think Middle Kids is my most listened to artist on Spotify. I'm not looking forward to those wrap-up lists in December because I think it's just going to be a few artists. Still looking forward to it. But yeah, those are my main go-to artists.
Very solid picks. Romanie, thank you very much for joining us on the podcast today, and congratulations again on the EP. It is gorgeous.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a pleasure.
And that's our show. A massive thank you to Romanie for her time. Little Big Steps is out now, and we've left links in the show notes if you'd like to stream the EP or buy tickets to her tour. We also want to give a huge shout out to Jade at Beehive PR for helping out with today's interview. You can find a link to our Spotify playlist in the show notes, where you'll be able to listen to all of our guest picks. If you like this show, please subscribe wherever you get your pods and stay up to date when new episodes are released. We release new shows each Thursday and Friday morning, with guest playlists streaming on Spotify at the same time. You can follow the playlist profile on Spotify, and you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Until next week, cheers.